Thank you, Lori, and good morning, everyone. I'm thrilled to be here at the launch of this exciting new initiative. My boss, Assistant Attorney General Carol Mason, is a huge supporter, as is Denise O'Donnell, the BJA director, and both of them had both personally wanted to be here. And while I certainly speak for the department now, I would, unlike Lori, I will not speak in Carol's voice. Those of you who know her know that she is quite amazing and sometimes unpredictable. So I really, though, send her best regards. Both she and Denise wanted to be a part of this to celebrate the important marker on our path to reform today. As leaders in this room well know, we're in a special moment right now. We're leaders on the right, in the left, those in the center, and even those who find it hard to agree on most anything else. Many are claiming criminal justice reform is an issue that must be addressed. There's even remarkably broad agreement about what good reform should look like. In his State of the Union, the President lauded the fact that for the first time in 4 decades, both crime and incarceration rates have come down together, and that we have an opportunity to build on this momentum with reforms that protect and serve all of us. The Macarthur Safety and Justice Challenge is poised to move the field forward in meaningful and impactful ways, and it comes at just the right time. Through a thoughtful, strategic, and deliberative process, Macarthur has identified a sweet spot for national investment. I know from my own work on reentry from jails and from the early days of local justice reinvestment that jails and counties are complex places in so many ways. But they're also opportune places to intervene, to impact lives on the front end of the system, and hopefully steer people towards more safe and healthy pathways. So on behalf of the Department of Justice, we commend the Macarthur Foundation and the many leaders in this room for the groundwork that's gotten us to this point, and especially for the commitment to the pioneering work that comes next. Now, our efforts at the department are highly aligned with the aims and values of this new initiative. For example, the Attorney General's Smart on Crime framework provides a great platform for strategies that reduce crime and curb imprisonment, like the Foundation's new challenge and like our Justice Reinvestment Initiative. As many of you know, Justice Reinvestment is a public-private partnership. It's a data-driven effort to improve public safety, reduce correction spending, and reinvest strategies in strategies that that can decrease crime and strengthen neighborhoods. BJA leads this work for the department, and I want to give out a shout out to Julie James, who's in the room somewhere here today. BJA leads this with Pew, with the Council of State Government's Justice Center, and with an incredible suite of partners, many of whom are here today. More than 24 states have engaged in this work, including 5 that are also undertaking reforms in their juvenile justice systems. Importantly, many states are documenting reductions in crime and incarceration, saving millions in taxpayer dollars. 17 local jurisdictions have undertaken justice reinvestment as well, and we're seeing promising developments. For example, in my hometown of Charlotte, officials have instituted a citation in lieu of arrest policy, and they expect it will result in a 10% reduction in arrests, court processes, and jail use. They anticipate saving at least $5.4 million over 4 years, which they plan to invest in mental health crisis support, reentry, and law enforcement. I know Chief Monroe is right here. I just met him this morning, and he's on the agenda, and I'm sure we'll hear more about that today. Johnson County, Kansas, has developed pretrial risk assessment and release guidelines to make sure that the right people are in the right beds for the right amount of time. Reduced jail admissions are projected to save more than $1.2 million over 3 years. These examples, which are documented in a report by the Urban Institute, focus on smart reforms at the front end of the system. These front-end decisions are among the most consequential of all the decisions we make in criminal justice, in terms of safety, fairness, efficiency, and cost. And yet we have a long ways to go to close the gap between innovative practices like these and business as usual in most jurisdictions. It's still the case, for example, that more than 60% of jail inmates are there awaiting trial. In other words, they're in jail, but they're legally still presumed innocent. The use of evidence-based risk assessment, not bond schedules, should be used as the primary tool in helping judges make pretrial release and detention decisions. Yet only about 10% of jurisdictions currently use tools that incorporate such research-based criteria. Our SMART pretrial demonstration initiative, launched by BJA last year, is testing risk assessment models to find out how we can improve outcomes through actions at the pretrial stage. We're funding 3 projects in Denver, Colorado, Yakima County, Washington, and the state of Delaware, and we're so pleased that Pretrial Justice Institute is serving as our project coordinator. Kim Ball, who's right here today and leads this work at BJA, has been in close contact with Lori Garducki at Macarthur as the projects have developed. And we expect that collaboration to continue and even increase as the challenge sites are chosen and as we move these initiatives forward with aligned goals and values. We're also funding a SMART prosecution initiative where prosecutors in 4 jurisdictions are working hand in hand with researchers to analyze local crime data and develop strategies that make greater use of diversion alternatives. These are approaches that have already been shown to work in cities and counties across the country. In fact, several states, including Colorado, Kentucky, Delaware, and New Jersey, have passed laws that change bail practices and reform pretrial procedures so that low-income, low-risk defendants aren't being punished primarily for being poor. These states are codifying efforts that minimize dependency on incarceration and maximize evidence-based approaches aimed at greater public safety. Now, I want to share just one more example, especially given Macarthur's interest in reducing disproportionate minority confinement as a part of this initiative. The state of Georgia had doubled its prison population between 2000 and 2011. Without reform, it was expected to grow by 8% by 2018 at a cost of $264 million. But in 2012, the state passed a law that focused prison beds on the most serious offenders, expanded alternative sentencing options, and strengthened probation. So now, instead of growing, Georgia's prison population is down by 8%. The state has saved over $20 million alone in direct payments they're no longer making to the counties for holding state prisoners in local jails. So the state JRI is having a positive impact not only on the state prisons, but also on the local jail populations. And importantly here, this decline is having a disproportionate impact on people of color, but not in the way that we're used to. Over a 3-year period, prison commitments of white males has held steady, while prison commitments of black males has decreased by 12%. I'm told that we're seeing similar trends in other states and that these shifts are going to be documented and publicly released soon. Finally, I can't end without acknowledging the important opportunity to improve reentry outcomes after a jail stay, whether it be for 1 day or 1 year. The unique challenges of jail reentry include short stays, unpredictable release dates, little capacity for programs, and a wide range of both sentenced and unconvicted individuals. Yet each contact provides an opportunity to intervene in a positive way, to screen for risks and needs, develop transition plans, to enroll people in health care, to connect them with treatment and training, and set them on a path to get their lives in order. We're supporting reentry strategies like these through our Second Chance program. We've invested more than $350 million in almost 700 Second Chance grants, and some 40% of those dollars have gone to counties. Evaluations are forthcoming, but early results in places like Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, here today, are very promising. We're also using the tools in our federal toolbox to reduce a broad set of barriers through the work of the Federal Interagency Reentry Council. As Lori mentioned, the Attorney General leads this group. We've got 23 federal agencies working together to improve policy impacting employment and education, housing, health, and of course, public safety. So the launch of Macarthur's Safety and Justice Challenge could not come at a better time. There are great things going on in select jurisdictions, showing us what's possible, but those innovations are not yet widespread. Support for reform, no demand, is coming from all corners. The brain trust for this work is here in this room and committed to the charge, and our public-private goals are aligned. Our complementary efforts should move the field forward at a greater pace than if we were at this on our own. The new Macarthur investments are poised to have a significant impact and a ripple effect beyond the 20 pilot sites. So we look forward to working with all of you over the next months and years to promote local justice systems that are more fair, more just, more efficient, and lead to safe, healthy, and strong communities. Thank you.